What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 90, and I got a special guest on the show today. I got my boy Julian De Leon. I said it right?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful, sunny day in Seattle. Super long days. Really excited.
Yeah, you lucky because it's been raining down here all day in Miami, back in the crib. So.
We get 9 months of rain and then 3 months of sunshine over here. So believe me, it's not.
Yeah.
I take the rain, I think.
So before we get into the questions and everything, tell the people about yourself, a little bit about yourself.
My name is Julian De Leon, born and raised in Miami, specifically in Hialeah Gardens. Currently a software engineer at Microsoft, working on Microsoft News over here in Seattle. Pretty much graduated from University of Miami 2 years ago, so pretty much stayed in Miami all my life until I moved over here across the country. Just trying to both grow as a software engineer, as a person, and help people out, on my way up.
That's what's up. So before we get into you working at Microsoft and everything, even before then, interning at Amazon and stuff like that, what made you want to become a software engineer?
Yes, so I remember the exact day. I was really good at physics and math in high school. I took a couple years of that. So I knew I wanted to do engineering, and I remember arguing with my brother, teasing my brother, because he chose computer science, ironically, a year ahead of me. And I was like, I can't program, man. That's so boring. I'm going to do computer engineering or electrical engineering because I like to work, hands-on. And then I took the intro to engineering class at UM, and the speed and just the freedom of computer science, immediately just happened, right? The first assignment was just, hey, grab your laptop, download this application, and develop this. And so, I don't know, kind of instantly I saw, hey, whenever I have an idea, all I need is a laptop, sometimes internet, and I can get started, versus the very slow process of most other engineering where you have an idea, you design it, you gotta check the physics, you hope you don't blow up the lab. So yeah, just the speed and freedom of computer science is what drove me, and I made that decision first week of college. So definitely the right decision.
Yeah, it's definitely the right decision, because some days I kind of I was always been told never to regret, but some days I'd be like, damn, if I would have stuck with computer engineering and stuff like that, I would have been sitting pretty right now. But I mean, in every career you have to it's always stuff that you have to do that's gonna be very hard, but you got to stick with it, So you're very passionate about your dream of becoming a software engineer and stuff like that. So before working for Microsoft, you said you had a couple internships. I know one of them was at Amazon, correct?
Yeah. My first internship was at Goldman Sachs over in New York City. And a lot of people think, sometimes you got to know somebody, all these things. But once you know the process of how, getting a job or even an internship works, it's really a numbers game. So I applied just about everywhere.
Right.
And then I got the interview. For those that don't know, computer science, most interviews are not behavioral. It's pretty much a test. Some sort of problem that you have to solve. So that is a skill in itself, and I practiced, and I got ready for the interview. Interview went well, so yeah, interned at Goldman, super awesome experience, so much learning. at the same time getting paid a lot, like way more than I could ever have imagined. I think salaries back then for an intern were like $36 to $45 an hour, pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's as an intern, right? Full time in New York City. Granted, it's not as much as you think because New York City taxes outrageously. But
yeah, it's crazy out here. My
second internship, they tax like near 50% of your income will go to taxes.
Like, yeah, I heard because my wife, she's from Manhattan, and she says it all the time. Like, yeah, they get paid a lot, but it's not like down here in Florida where, you know, you don't get taxed like that, you know, especially compared to New York.
And that is exactly why I wanted to intern in Seattle the next year. Because Seattle, like Florida, does not have state taxes. And really went through the same thing. Granted, with a good internship under my belt, made it easier to get a better internship. And I think that's really what I got at Amazon. It was just very different experience. It's really a tech company versus really tech sector in a finance company.
Right.
And yeah, did, you know, pretty much similar work. Figured out, you know, they ultimately had a problem that they needed me to solve. It had to do with allowing investigators find fraudsters on AWS a little quicker. So did that. I did get a return offer, but I did not accept it.
Why not?
Instead, I came over.
What?
Yeah, so had an offer from Amazon, and a lot of people were like, wait, you didn't accept it, but they wanted me to accept really early, and I don't like making decisions thanks to pressure. I like to make them analytically and to really explore my options. So I figured out that software companies in general are just understaffed.
Right.
So even if I rejected the offer and then came back and said, hey, actually, I've looked around and I think this is the best opportunity for me, it is more likely they'll just say yes and give me an offer than if I accept and then later on, you know, 3 months pass and I tell them, hey, I'm actually going to go work at Microsoft now, and then rescind on that offer. Or renege, I think, is the official term. So it's like when you accepted an offer and then you say no, I'm not going to proceed with it. So
it's
you
basically,
can pretty much end up on a company's bad side that way, which I didn't want to do.
but I mean, it's kind of like sports, though, right? You was a free agent, pretty much. They gave you an offer, but Microsoft, they pretty much matched it, and it was probably even more and stuff like that. Like, how is that, like, especially in that situation? Like, what can you, like, you know, what kind of advice would you give, especially, like, you know, kids that's want to get into tech, you know, want to get into engineering, you know, you see these big companies like Amazon and Microsoft and Apple. Like, what advice would you tell them, like, how to handle, like, a job offer?
Negotiations?
Yes.
Yeah. So, one thing is really know your worth, right? So, when a company offers you, you know, any set of numbers, and I think the current offers, let's say for new hires at Microsoft, even maybe is like 110K probably salary, and then maybe 10K signing bonus, and like, I don't know, maybe 60K in stock vested across 4 years. So that, and like any offer you get from any company, more likely than not, is the minimum they are willing to pay for you.
Right.
Now, the best way to really negotiate is getting a competing offer. So if your dream is to work at Amazon, you should negotiate with Amazon last. You should try and negotiate with any other companies and be like, hey, you know, I think working at Microsoft, I think I should make this much, or I think I'm worth that much. And then you negotiate all these other offers, and aggressively, right? The worst case happens, they say no.
Right.
So I asked for a pretty sizable increase and got it accepted. So I negotiated, about 100 I got 2.6 times more signing bonus than they had offered me, and I doubled the amount of stock that they had offered me as well.
Wow.
And that was literally sending an email. Granted, you also kind of know how interviews go.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I did very well. I felt passionate about the answers I gave. I, had a genuine connection with most of the interviewers. So I knew I had negotiating power just because I knew I rocked the interview, right? So step one, I guess, if you really want to get a high-performing job, is not only learn your craft, but also learn the interview process.
Right.
Because it's a different game, and it's not going to be your day-to-day skills, right? Sometimes it's very niche, especially for something like computer science. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people call it a muscle, consider it like a muscle in itself. So yeah, I'd say, be aggressive. Worst case, they say no, but, prepare and be generally aware of how interviews went and just how much you think you really are worth. So.
Yeah, I mean, I got that same, my best friend, he's a firefighter, so I remember when he first started his career, and, he was pretty much networking with different people from different, like, the counties and the cities, and he was telling me, like, it's the same process, like, pretty much, but you have to, like, be on, like you say, you have to be on top, you have to be very confident, you have to be very... you have to show them that you're the right one for the job, because at the end of the day, that's what they look at. They want someone who's very confident and not just the position that they're doing, but also in the company, and helping the company grow. So, so yeah, man. So like,
I think a big thing, real quick. Companies generally have a purpose, and when the purpose of the company aligns with what you would like to do in life, in general, especially talking about that, right, is a huge plus in interviews. So, like, Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and organization on the planet to achieve more. And I love that. I mean, I've taught for a while, so, like, I talked about that, and I'm sure that helped. But, you can't you can't lie about it, though. If you don't care about other people, maybe you shouldn't work at Microsoft, because you don't want to empower, people to do more. So right, staying true to yourself is a big part of it as well.
So how is it, like, working at Microsoft? Like, what's the day-to-day, like, duties? Like, how is the environment? Because, Google, they show it all. Like, they show, like, how they treat their employees and everything, and, like, they just show, like, the whole, like, the workspace and things like that. But how is it at Microsoft? Is it similar? Is it different?
Yeah, I'd say it's similar. It's very team dependent. When I started on my team, we were in a pretty brand new building, and, like, had basically the idea that most people have. Yeah. Beautiful open space offices with cool furniture and meditation rooms, or a random pool table here, and stuff like that. And then we recently got moved towards somewhat of an older building. Still kind of smells like Bill Gates. And it has more of an office feel, or it is on some floors offices, on some floors open space. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting. Engineers don't care much about where they work. They care very much about kind of two things. Like, we want a very comfortable desk, mm-hmm, and snacks. Right. And snacks, right? Pool table.